Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Dropping the Topping episode 4, and today I'm with Dominic Couch. Many of you know him from actually, coming off of YCS win, the last YCS win since Corona hit, actually, and this was in Vegas in the 3v3. I actually got to attend that event myself, and it was a super fun event. Dom actually won the entire event with his teammates, of course, just not by himself, but he won the event with Invoke Shaddoll. So I figured, who would be a better person to reach out to than Dom himself to see if he can sort of revamp my Shaddoll list that you guys know that I've been, playtesting on Twitch, that I put out a profile recently on YouTube. And so let's see what Dom can, help bring to the table from, I guess, the mind of someone who's played the Shaddoll deck and someone who's been in the game for such a long time and has a strong understanding and fundamental of the game itself. So without further ado, I'll introduce you to Dom. So Dom, you want to introduce yourself to anyone who may not know you?
Hello, my name is Dominic Couch. I won the last YCS with my teammates Scott Page and Steven Silverman in Vegas in February.
Yep. I
have 10 Konami tops with my win, and some others sprinkled in over the past year and a half.
Yep.
I play for Team Game Nation. It's alongside like Jesse, Furman, Asala, Siobhan, etc. That's pretty much it.
Awesome. Yeah. So no, I'm really glad to have you here. In this series. So thank you for coming along, Dom. And I guess we'll get right into like the deck. So I guess your first glance at this list, right? Like maybe you can kind of like walk me through like your thoughts of like what I could change, what are some improvements, etc.
Yeah. So I would say my first big thing would be I don't like the shadow game.
Yep.
When I build a deck or whatever, like there's this like, well, not an unspoken rule, but it's a rule that I understand and like use very well to my advantage. That if there's a card in your deck you're playing, you should either be playing one of it because it's one or two of it because it's searchable.
Yep.
And useful, or you should be playing 3 because you want to draw it. So the shadow game like doesn't make sense. It's not searchable.
Yep.
You should either be playing 3 or 0.
Okay. Gotcha.
100%.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And so I guess like maybe I'll kind of like walk you through my reasoning behind why I decided to like play or like pick up this deck. I just found that it was like honestly a super fun deck. I like the fact that like it's a more slower pace variant to like play the game. I figured I was just kind of like bored of like the entire meta game, so I figured I'd try something new. I figured, why not, let's pick up Shaddolls. And so I've been having a lot of fun with it, but I definitely agree with that, like either a 0-1 or like a 1-2 ratio if it's searchable, or kind of like essentially 3 of if it's not searchable and you kind of really want to draw it. So okay, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, any card you want to draw, you should play 3.
Gotcha.
100%.
Yeah. And so I guess like I was gonna ask you like, what are your thoughts about like this deck in like the current metagame?
I think like pretty much any deck that doesn't like utilize needle fiber in some way is unplayable.
Okay, gotcha.
This deck like uses needle fiber, so it's like fine, but I don't think you're like doing a ton with your needle.
Yeah, no. So the needle fiber play that I've been kind of like doing, which is somewhat different, is I would go when you go through like the essentially the play before was you kind of like just went if you had like, let's say, Shaddoll Fusion, a Squamata, and any light monster, you would fuse them, make the construct. Squamata and construct would dump like a Red Shaddoll and the Wendy, which gets you aerial set. You would link off the construct so that it adds back a card, etc. And then you kind of just flip Red Shaddoll by banishing the construct to bring it back. What I've been doing is I've been making needle fiber, summoning the Falco because it's actually a Shaddoll tuner, and then using Shaddoll Falco plus any other like flip effect monster, like any other Shaddoll monster, to make the Shaddoll construct, and then try to like end up on like a bigger board from there. But yeah, like that's my only use with needle fiber. It also obviously helps because all the Shaddoll monsters, most of them are spellcasters except like Wendy and Ariel. So like they can help you make Celine and go access code, but
alright, so I think that like if you're using needle fiber and you're like gonna go that route, you should probably like build your deck so that needle fiber does more, and then like the Shaddoll engine like does a lot more. Like when you get like stopped, like you get Nibiru or whatever.
Yep.
Like the tokens of light, right?
Yeah,
so
they
you can like it's the same reason I played Nibiru in Vegas, because it gave me a light monster. So
Right.
I think that like you're not playing any clown or anything
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
So I think that if you're already not going to play like the cards that go towards the mainstream Shaddolls, like you're only playing one hedgehog.
Yep.
You're playing like more of the tuner
Yep.
than like the other ones.
Yep.
So I think if that's the case, then you should build it so that like if Needle Fiber resolves, you should win the game
Right.
rather than like
Okay, I see what you're saying.
make it so your deck doesn't really have a goal. Like his deck looks to me almost as if it was like built without like a like set goal in mind, right?
Right.
Like you have like ratios of the Shaddol monsters that are kind of all over the place, and then like you have Needle Fiber, and then you have like trap cards, right?
Right.
So it's like hand trap. So it doesn't really show like a clear way to win to me, which I think is like very important when you build a deck. You need to like decide how you want to win before you like sign up with your 70 cards.
No, that's a really good point that you're making here. It's like figure out like what is the win condition of this deck, and I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, because I think originally I was kind of like you kind of were mentioning, just throwing cards in and essentially kind of like playing this as a more slow, grindy deck. But I think like because the format is so fast, where like like the Adamantipator deck, like the Synchro Aulic deck is they're very fast in the current format. Like you probably want to play something like in order to like keep up with that, I guess. I see. So like you're saying that I would essentially try to like make Needle Fiber play, resolve as much as possible. If it gets in the beard, then I can guess like I can El Shaddol fusion for a maybe a construct or something.
Yeah, right. So like your Needle Fiber play like Jet Synchron or whatever, like the Eldritch deck does.
Yep.
You would actually build it like almost identical to the Eldritch deck, right? Where it's like instead of the Eldritch cards, it would just be the Shaddol cards.
Okay.
And it's like when that deck gets nibbed, it's like goal if unless its hand is like so strong it can play through Nibiru.
Yeah.
But it's goal when it gets like Nibiru is to like just put up Lord and then like have the trap cards, right?
Yeah.
So your goal would be like to continue to play like through the Shaddol monsters.
Okay, that makes sense. So like in terms of the traps, do you think I cut out these like traps then, like that Torrential Tribute, or do I just play a smaller Shaddol count?
Like Torrential, Dynamiscus, and Shadow Games are all Rush Shaddol like could even go, but it's like one I would cut later.
Yeah.
When you like play more and figure out how much it actually like comes up.
Okay.
That matters.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So I guess in this variant, like, would you just recommend like, wait, what tuning? I think tuning actually triggers your Shaddol monsters, right?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up next. Tuning is very, very good because it does like almost exactly what I was saying with the Eldritch deck before.
Yeah.
So when tuning mills like a trap card for the Eldritch deck, you like gain a card where it does like the exact same thing as Shaddol. Like if you mill Skomata or Hog or Beast or when like you get a free card, an additional resource.
That makes sense actually.
And even if it mills like Shaddol Fusion or El Shaddol Fusion, now you have a resource there for your fusion monsters later.
Yeah, okay, that's actually insane, not gonna lie to you. That's actually absolutely nuts. Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense to me. So would you say this deck would be like the main goal would be to go first or second? Actually go first, right? Just because of like
yeah, I mean if you're trying to just resolve Needle Fiber to win, like it would definitely be to go first, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Would you play any of the other Synchrons or no?
No. Like quick draw doesn't get a lot of value. You're already like not using your normal summon in the Shaddol deck because you're like Jet Synchron and Tuning are taking the place of like Meltdown and Alistair.
Okay.
And like O-Lion takes the place of like Invocation or whatever.
Yeah.
So it swaps
Hello, people.
somewhat perfectly. And you just choose the Needle Fiber engine instead of the invoked engine. Like if that's the way you're choosing to build your win condition. Actually, just give you a Shaddol ratio.
Okay, sure. Yep.
So I would probably not play more than one aerial.
Okay, that makes sense.
3 Wendy is the best one.
Yep.
3 Hedgehog.
Okay.
3 Skomata.
Yep.
2 Beast. 1 Falco and 1 Dragon.
Okay, gotcha. So
So you build it like this because Squamata is any card in your deck.
Yep.
Wendy is any card in your deck, and Hedgehog is any card in your deck.
Gotcha. So it's
So like
just,
these are the ones that are like ideal to hit. Beast is the one that you like want multiple copies of throughout the middle of the game.
Right.
If it were to become a grind, so
Yep.
Beast is the next best one,
Yep.
and it's also treats tuning as like a +1, like an Upstart Goblin and a Jet Synchron.
Yep.
If it were to be hit, Ariel is like utility. Shaddoll Dragon is utility, and then Falco is searchable by Hog, Squamata, and Wendy. So
Gotcha.
you don't need to play more than one.
Right. And it's just this card just for the grind game. In terms of like the hand trap count, what do you currently think about the hand trap count?
So I think I probably wouldn't play more than like 8 in the
Okay.
Shaddoll deck.
Sure. So
It also depends. Like,
Yeah.
so if your extra deck gets tight later,
yep.
because like obviously if we're developing Needle Fiber as a win condition, then
Yep.
you're gonna have to like play less Shaddoll cards,
Yeah.
which may mean you need to play like other cards in your main deck to help supplement that.
Yep.
Like Pot of Avarice or something like that,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. What about? I was thinking about like, what about like the clown package? Because if you can like send it off Jet, which is a free body, but like if tuning hits those cards, that's also free pluses, and they're light, so like it makes your Shaddoll fusion a lot better when going second instead of sending a Veiler. I guess. I don't know what your thoughts.
So the clowns just don't do anything to like actually advance your game state.
Okay.
Like unless I'm mistaken, and there's like a tuner clown, but
Yeah.
I don't think there is.
No, there isn't. No.
So other than that, like the light monsters that you would use the clowns for would probably be your hand trap slots.
Yep.
Whether it be Veiler, Nibiru, Ogre, like cards like that.
Right. Gotcha. That makes sense. So you say
like Ash is one that I'm like not super fond of in the Shaddoll deck because it like serves no purpose.
Yeah.
Like Phantasme, Nibiru, and Effect Veiler can all be used to fuse.
Yeah.
Ash, like not so much. It would probably be like a better side deck card, or you would only play like 2,
Okay.
just once per turn, something like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's a very like below average hand trap to begin with.
Yep. That makes sense.
Makes each better.
Yeah. Okay. And then so then you have like the Phantasme here. So would you cut Phantasme down to 2, or would you keep it at 3? I know you mentioned 8 as your preferred hand trap count.
So it goes back to like wanting to draw
Yeah.
all these cards. So like I would try to play 3 Phantasme,
Yep.
but Phantasme is like one of the ones that you can like give a reason to trim it to 2.
Yep.
Because it's like not actually a hand trap. You just use it to see other cards.
Yep.
Or like it's more of a supplemental card than it actually doing something.
Right.
So it's a card that I would leave at 3 for now. But as we continue to build the deck, if we need space, that would be like the thing that comes to my mind to cut first.
Right. Okay. Sounds good. Okay, that makes sense. I guess like what are the last 3 slots you think I should fill in? Do you think I should play maybe double O-line or no?
Well, you probably only use 1 Auroradon, so if instead of drawing it, which is fine, then you could play 2. Otherwise, you definitely would need the Despot.
Okay.
And that would be like us changing the extra deck to summon BFD or whatever.
Okay, sounds good. So I'll put the extra deck in. So obviously it's Needle Fiber, Auroradon. So you have the Needle Fiber, the Auroradon. You have. Do you think you play Link Cross with Jet Synchron to draw cards, or is our extra deck gonna be too tight?
I think our extra is gonna be too tight, to be honest.
Okay, that makes sense.
Link Cross is cool because it gives you a light monster.
Actually,
but,
that is, yeah.
But I think like Celine is like much better.
Yeah.
Because it helps fill a role with like a second Needle Fiber later in the game to just summon access code.
Yep.
And it if our Shaddoll extra egg needs to be trimmed, it helps recycle them. App Clone and Window, because they're both spellcasters.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, being able to summon Window with Celine was actually kind of insane. Okay, so you have Hulky Fiber X. So I guess you have the Garden Rose Maiden, right? So if we
Yep.
go for the
It would be
VFD,
Garden Rose,
Coral.
Croc, Vermilion, VFD, and Coral Dragon.
Yep. And then shoot. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, actually, yo,
And-
it's kind of
and
insane.
Link Rebo as well.
Yeah, the one of Link Rebo. So we're
Yeah,
probably.
I only played one Ep clone even in Vegas, so
Yep.
I wouldn't worry about playing two Ep clone.
Yeah, this is actually pretty neat. Saying we only so we cut the one app clone, and then we have double construct, double window. So what are your thoughts? Do you think what do we do for this slot?
So I only played two Construct, two Window, and an Ep clone in Vegas.
Yeah.
Ep clone is like not super necessary.
Yeah.
Like going first, like Construct is normally better, and Ep clone is a lot harder to make,
Yeah.
especially now that you play like these light hand traps.
Yep.
And so on and so forth. Window is like good to play two of. Like you should never need to summon more than two, especially with VFD.
Yep.
Construct and Ep clone are also like both very recyclable
Yeah.
with the trap if it's left in our deck.
Yep.
So I would say that like that's a fine number to play. Like Ep clone and Construct both trigger their effects whether they're fusion summoned or just special summoned. So
Yeah.
you don't need to play more.
Yep, that makes sense. And I guess like in the last two slots for like the main deck, what do you recommend we fill them in with? Like maybe a Pot of Avarice, you think, to like recycle back extra deck monsters, or?
Well, I think a card that is like very good is Foolish Burial.
Oh,
It
yeah.
triggers any shit all in your deck.
Yep.
Or can send Jet Synchron.
Yeah. True.
So I think that card's very good.
That's true. Yeah, this card's insane.
Other than that, you could play. I mean, like, you could play Pot of Everest, but that would be a card you would play three of, and I wouldn't think it's like perfect for this deck. Like you're still playing 5 shit off fusions,
Yep.
so you shouldn't have to put them back.
Yep.
Like your deck wasn't restricted too much.
Yep.
I would say that the last card should either be a second O-Lion, or like a card like Upstart Goblin.
Yeah.
That's just a 40th card.
Yep. I feel like with our lineup in the extract, we can't combo off if we hard draw O-line. So I think I'm just gonna play the second one. Just
Yeah, you would need to play Formula Synchron to play drawing it. So I think
Yeah.
playing second O-Line is smart.
Yep. Yep.
It also acts as a tuner, which is fine.
Right. And like if we mill one off like tuning or something, it has like the second effect to banish itself from the graveyard to special summon the O-line from our hand. So worst case,
I would say because of that,
maybe
and
3.
because we're not playing Link Cross with the formula stuff,
Yeah.
you could even make Link, and you're only playing one Needle Fiber, you could even make Link Rebo, All Mirage,
Oh.
So that way- two O-Lines you can play.
True. Okay. That makes sense, actually. Yep. Okay. Interesting. Is there any other?
Yeah, and then it would allow you to turn O-Line into 2 monsters.
Yep.
So you can do whatever. Like that may help climb into Selene in the later game.
Right. So like our backup plan is essentially Selene plus access code, right? Like that's essentially like we have like obviously the needle fiber extra deck portion, which is like to kind of like just break boards or set up boards going first or second really, and then we have the Selene plus the access code as a backup plan. Maybe like even trying to OTK actually. That actually makes sense.
So I think the Selene and the access code are very good because having a card that can answer a random problem is very good. Like this deck, if you look at it like at its core, you have to realize when you're building decks like what are the weaknesses what are cards that you can auto lose to. A card that would come to my mind like almost immediately would be like the BLS Link could be a problem. But access code is a card that's big enough to take care of it. And then you can make a push through the mid game when the game slows down a lot because of Winda. You can link Winda off with something else into Selene, and then just you can recur 2 fusion spells like with Selene as well.
Right.
So it doesn't only like go for a game shot. it can also recycle your resources a lot.
Yeah, that's true. No, that's really really insane actually. No, I like this. Yo, this list is looking kind of spicy, like something different. I know obviously like people might say like it's still like the needle fiber combo, but I guess it's like another different take that actually seems pretty viable this format. And like even against Elec deck, you have Aerial to like DD Crow for 3 on your opponent's turn if you set an El Shaddoll. So these are some powerful cards. And even going second, right? Like I guess when let's say you're going second against VFD and you activate Shaddoll Fusion, I guess if they chain Dark, you can actually just send Aerial and Wendy and still get Wendy Aerial off, which is not bad to like kind of like set a monster in defense and kind of like set up, and like you would Aerial all their like follow-up plays. So this seems like not bad at all, even going second. And you have 9 hand traps, of course.
Yep, I would say if you're content with the main deck,
Yeah.
then something to look at with the side deck
Yep.
is super polymerization.
Yep.
Because you can use that very very well with the Shaddoll cards. It's always been a strength.
Oh, actually you're right, because the Elec cards, like the Golden Lords, are light, so you can literally like set like a Squamata and then outplay people with the Super Poly, and they might not expect it.
Yeah, it becomes a very very good trap card
Yep.
going first, and it becomes a very very good card breaking down a board going second.
Yeah, that's true.
Like a lot of decks can have a problem like clearing the VFD after it resolves.
Yep.
You can super poly the VFD into window.
Yeah, that's true.
Which can be like backbreaking if you get to live
Yep.
an extra turn
Would you
after they.
would
blown
you
their
side
extra
a fusion target for Super Poly 2 or no?
So, because the decks you would be super polying are usually like, it'd just be like VFD, right? Like that's the big combo of the format usually.
Yep.
There's not like a super poly target that just cracks VFD.
Yep.
If there's a super poly target that beats like Boral Savage Herald, maybe that's something worth playing.
Okay. Let me double check what Boral Savage is. It's a
It's
synchro
a dragon.
synchro
It's a dragon.
And what's Herald? Light fairy?
I think it's a fairy, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there is a target. Hold on. Synchro. Yeah, I can do some
It
research.
would have to be something that's like, I actually think I'd never remember how to summon Elder Entity Natis,
Oh, yeah, true.
but
It's a synchro monster plus a
he's
plus XYZ
Yeah.
monster. Interesting.
if Norton was legal, but no chance.
That's true. Oh my god, if Norton was legal, that would be insane. Super Poly would be so broken. Discard like a level 4, summon link off their synchro their fusion Super Poly their monsters, and Norton can bring back whatever you discarded. That would be nutty.
And then like as the format progresses, like if the rock deck does something differently or their end boards
Yeah.
become different. I know that there was a time before I had taken a break when the rock deck first came out.
Yep.
And I was still trying to play my Shaddoll deck.
Yeah.
You could super poly them on Dweller and Dragite for Mud Dragon was really cool.
Oh, true.
So you just super poly is a card that you just have to look as the format progresses what can become some valid targets.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, we'll put that in the side, and that's something we'll contemplate as like we play the format for sure. And then I guess what else do you think I should probably consider in the side deck for the current metagame? Like Cosmic Cyclone for the trap decks. Like I know Geist is probably like a big thing coming.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Cosmic Cyclone when it comes to the Shaddoll deck.
Yeah.
Because you can normally play into cards, and then what stops you are usually floods.
Yeah.
That you rather chain an answer to than blind lightning storm or something like that, and just get judgmented.
Yep. So I guess like maybe like just for like the back row decks, we'll put in like lightning storm, and then maybe cosmics. Or do you think? It's like
Cosmic is very good. Lightning storm can be questionable. I know I played it in Vegas.
Yep.
But things have definitely changed since then.
Yeah.
So lightning storm is just a little rough because you have to begin with your turn with it.
That's true.
Rather than like figure out what's there.
Yeah. But I guess okay, let's say like we're going second. we activate Lightning Storm, debate our card just so that our Shaddoll Fusion can resolve. Maybe it's decent, but or do we play evenly matched? Like that's like the only other blow card that I can like really think of.
So evenly matched, I would say, is better than Lightning Storm most of the time.
Yeah.
With the Shaddoll deck, it's just because you get to clear out all the problems.
Yeah.
And it's a card that like resolves through Imperial Order.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's true.
Because I would say the biggest weakness to like the Shaddoll cards alone is like when spells are turned off with fragrance or order,
Yeah.
which is where like Lightning Storm is very, very poor.
Yeah.
Where Cosmic can shine because it can be chained,
Yep.
and evenly matched can leave them with just those cards. And now that you're trying to win with Needle Fiber
Yeah.
rather than just the Shaddoll cards alone,
Yeah.
the Imperial Order would be popped like by Coral Dragon or Vermilion.
Yeah.
If you were to get that far.
Right. Like, so along the way, you just get rid of those floods anyway. So that makes sense, actually. Huh. That's actually kind of cute, actually. Gotcha. And then, of course, we have to put in, like, the Pankratops, right? Like, this card's just godly. No?
Pankratops is, like, okay, but
Yeah.
it's a card that's not searchable, and it's a one of.
Yeah.
I'm usually not a big fan of cards like that.
Okay. True.
And especially when, like, you're going second, a lot of the times you would want a card like Nibiru or something like that to prevent a board.
Yeah.
Pankratops like can no longer be played if you control
true.
a Phantasme or Nibiru most of the
Yeah,
time.
and those cards are in our main deck, so it does conflict with Pankratops.
Exactly. It's the same reason I wouldn't like main decking I wouldn't side in permanence in this deck.
Yeah.
It like doesn't do very well with Phantasme and Nibiru.
Right. That makes sense to me.
A card that is pretty cool for the VFD decks is Forbidden Chalice.
Oh yeah. That is
that card can give you a chance as a 6 card.
Yeah.
But it could also like be something else. Like the side deck is not always the perfect 15.
Yeah.
Especially when you're just deck building, it's usually a rough draft. They get adjusted.
Yep.
As you play more with the deck. So that wouldn't be something I'm like super keen on telling you what the side deck, because it changes always.
Right. As in testing.
The last card that I was even a really big fan of in the LCS was Token Collector. I would probably use that.
Oh, true.
The last side deck card is just broken.
Yeah, and like the thing is, milling it off, our Shaddoll cards are pretty good too.
Milling it off, tuning.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
And it's like it can even be an interruption.
Yeah.
With Foolish Burial.
Yep.
If you can already play.
I have a question. What are your thoughts on El Shaddoll Sheshanaga? I was always curious about this card because when I was looking at the Shaddoll lineup and the fusion monsters, I noticed this was the only one that was a negation.
So Sheking Naga is very good. Another card that's like really close to Sheking Naga that can also be very good is Annoy Tillis.
Oh.
Both those cards can be very good.
Yeah.
But they're just too hard to summon.
Yeah.
Like App Clone kind of takes their spot, unfortunately.
Yeah. Gotcha.
App Clone like can be chained to other cards.
Yep.
In an open game state, App Clone can negate a card.
Yeah.
Like a big thing in Vegas, like during that format at least, was like App Clone negating cards like Lunalight Tiger was just
so powerful.
like
yeah.
It could just be like too much for someone to overcome.
Yeah.
So.
Because I was thinking, like, if we're playing Token Collector, let's say we main deck Token Collector, which is not even, like, the worst call. We also have the Despot 01, which is an Earth. We can, like, Shaddoll Fusion for Sheshanaga, and, like, we're drawing a lot of cards off, like, the VFD combo. But Sheshanaga, if we make it first, before we do anything else, means that we have a negate for Nibiru, actually, along the way. Which is, like, kind of cheesy.
Yeah, I think Sheshanaga is a card you could try and see how it works for you.
Yeah.
But, it is not as good as the other 3.
Yeah, actually, no, I just read it again. It's actually not that great. Because it says only when
you have to discard a Shaddoll card to negate.
Yeah, but it also says when a special summon monster activates its effect, so you can't even negate Nibiru. So
yeah.
Geez.
You can only negate like Token Collector wiping.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, interesting choice. All right, well, yeah, Dom. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go test this deck out on Rated. I'll let you know my thoughts on it. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. Do you want to give any shout outs before we conclude this video?
Yeah, shout out, go support my friends on Duelist Academy.
Awesome. Yeah.
They work very, very hard and provide really, really great content that would help any duelist become better.
Yeah.
So go check them out at Duelist Academy.
Yep.
And then shout out to Game Nation.
Yep.
And shout out to Scott and Silverman for winning with me.
Yeah, of course, man.
Pretty much it.
Yeah, no, I can definitely attest to Duelist Academy. You know, I obviously you saw me and Jesse in like the first 2 episodes. You know, he's very, very an amazing resource for sure, and like the rest of the Duelist Academy squad is also very resourceful. So I definitely highly recommend you check them out. I'll have all that information in the description box below. You know, thank you again, Dom, for coming on, and